Welcome, fellow game developers. In this tutorial, we'll explore the fundamentals of 2D movement in Unity by creating a 2D platformer game. By the end of this video we will create something like this. In this video, we are using this awesome asset pack from Unity Assets Store. Link to it is down in the description. So first of all, let's create our player object, rename it to player, and also add a tag to it. Now we have to add a rigid body 2D element. It lets our object to react to gravity and physics. Now let's add a collider 2D component that will let the object to collide with other objects. Make it wrap around the player and leave some space in the bottom. Now add an empty child object to our player and call it ground check. Add a box collider 2D and make it to be just at the bottom of the player. This will be used later in the video. Now we are done with making our player. Let's write some code. But first, we should make a ground object that our player could stand on. I will add a square sprite, rename it to ground, make it a little bigger, change its color, and the most important thing is that I will add a tag called ground. Once we add a box collider 2D to it, our player can finally stand on it, but I also like to make the player to look more like standing, so I will make the ground collider a little bit lower. Now we are finally ready to start scripting. Create a script called player and open it. First of all, we have to create our variables for speed, jump speed, checking if the player is touching the ground, and a rigid body which we will call RB. I will set the speed and jump speed to 5. In the start function we should define the rigid body using getComponent function. Now we can create the movement function. We will detect our horizontal axis, which is controlled with A and D buttons, and also left and right arrows. Now we simply add the movement vector to our player position, and multiply it by speed and time. Delta time. Don't forget to call the function in the update function. Let's see if it works. Now we can implement our jumping function. In the function we will check if the player is pressing the jump button, which is spacebar, and if he does, we will add force to the rigid body to move our object up. Again, don't forget to call the function from update function. As you can see, we are able to move and jump now, but there is one problem. We can jump multiple times in the air, and for that we created the ground check. Now let's create a script called grounded, and in it, we will firstly define which object is the player, and then we will use two functions to detect whether our player is touching the ground or not. Here we set the player object to the parent object of the ground check. Now we will use the onCollision enter and onCollision exit 2D functions. We will check the objects that we are colliding with tag, and if it is equal to ground, then we will set the asGrounded value to true or false. Add the grounded script to the ground, check object and test the game. We are still able to jump multiple times because we don't yet check if we are grounded or not. In order to fix that, in the jump function check if the isGrounded variable is equal to true. Now everything works, but if you go to the edge of the ground, the player simply rotates and falls to death. To fix it, we can go to rigid body settings and freeze the rotation on the Z axis. Congratulations, we have successfully completed the first part of making a 2D platformer game. In the next video we will talk about animations and add them into our project. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with more exciting Unity tutorials. Anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time, happy coding.